officers in the legal department that actually served President Biden on his advisory. You know, there is some progress there. I will say that I'm not really pleased with the progress that I'm seeing. These strategies that I see coming out I just don't think they're technologically sound. Yeah, I just don't think they're technologically sound. I mean, because if you go back like a year ago on this conversation, the heavy movement was, well, OpenAI, you know, ChatGPT took over $100 million to train. So maybe we put a policy in place where any model that say it's going to cost over $20 million to train or $50 million to train needs to go through a government approval. When I saw that as a proposal, that's not going to work because like Meta just spent hundreds of millions of dollars on Llama 3. It's an open source model that anybody can download. And once you download the model, you can always fine tune and train the model, right? So you cannot stop the fact that AI models will be developed just by some arbitrary thing. I think the key principle in this larger topic of AI safety is regulate not the process. The process is moving way, way, way too fast, but focus on the outcomes. And there's a lot of stuff that's already there. You know, if you commit bank fraud, you go to jail. It doesn't matter if you did it the traditional way or use AI, you should still go to jail, right? So you don't need a new legislation on you cannot use AI to do bank fraud, right? And so I just want to see a very grounded approach that is technologically possible to implement. Just one last comment here. Nuclear, right? If you go back to nuclear, the world came together to put together world regulations to protect humanity from nuclear. We need to think a little bit about that. The one thing, there's a lot of concerns about AI, which I don't agree with, but there is one that I do agree with, which is bad people will do bad things. So bad people will do bad things with AI. That is going to happen. There is going to be a headline that's going to come out later this year or next year where something horrible happens because bad people do bad things. We need to focus our energy on developing good AI aligned with human values.
Right. Yes, this gentleman in the great right here. Oh, great, right over there. Just close it. Then you're next.
Sorry. So sorry I missed the keynote yesterday, so maybe it's been addressed. But is there any effort to watermark content as actually genuine? You know, the world of deepfake and that sort of thing to show that this piece of video or audio is original.
There are efforts. I mean, there are efforts, and a lot of them's not even coming from our industry. It's coming from other like entertainment industries, etc. There are lawsuits that are in place right now. So depending on the outcomes of the lawsuits and legal regulations, we are in this phase where everything's moving so fast. Everyone's trying to figure out a bunch of things. We're going to be in a turbulent phase where things are up and down, right? 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But if you missed my keynote, but one thing that I did say in my keynote is I am definitely an optimist, and I definitely view the world in abundance. So beyond the turbulent phase, I think there's an amazing world where everyone is, we went through democratization of education and healthcare and all sorts of stuff. But it's going to be turbulent. It's going to be turbulent. And that area that you're bringing up in terms of watermarking creative products is definitely something that's happening. But from my knowledge, it's not happening within our industry. It's much more on the entertainment side.
So Joe, actually, I was speaking with the gentleman in the back, and I wanted to make sure we got to it. We're at the show, and it seems like AI is a hot topic, right? And so, what advice do you have for these folks to kind of discern what I'll call, AI blanketing versus true solutions that we should be looking towards? Like, what are the tenets of those solutions that we should be applying to our kind of search at the show?
Yeah, so let me answer that in 2 ways. That sounds like a little bit of how do you discern effective solutions in the AV space? And then is it a little bit about like how do you get started individually? Okay, let me answer both. So it's not just the AV industry, it's every industry. Right? You have to discern 3 different levels. There's the level that I kind of laugh at, and we can all laugh at it, which is like everyone just rebranded a bunch of stuff AI. Okay? So, I mean, it was already there, it was deterministic, it was automation, and now it's just rebranded AI. There's a bunch of startups that really didn't change their business model, but they just put the word .ai at the end. Okay? So let's forget about that. Okay, I mean, you just have to understand it in that, okay, maybe that's it. There is this level here, if you're talking about how do you deploy it in your institution or organization, there's a level here that's very, very amazing in terms of what's being developed. You remember yesterday I talked about device operations, I talked about edge processing, and I talked about cloud compute. At the edge level, there's a lot of amazing solutions being developed. The first wave is all in the video AI, right? There's a number of solutions on this floor where the video is very intelligent. It'll do auto camera, auto tracking, auto cropping. That's amazing. So if you want to deploy that into your organization, by all means do it. Okay? One of the arguments I made yesterday, though, is that for us to really achieve our vision, our potential as an industry, we need to move towards a full stack AV platform. So that means leveraging beyond just edge processing. We need to go to cloud compute with an entire ecosystem built around it, because everything is converging. Okay? So the 6 areas that I talk about, the magic between the 6 areas of audio AI, video AI, controls AI, data AI, workflow AI, content AI, the magic is in the convergence there. And you cannot get that magic unless there's a full stack AV platform. We at Q-Sys are obviously building ours, right? And we're not going to be the only ones. But you need to think about, if you are managing this at your enterprise, you need to think about getting on a full stack AV platform. Like everybody has in their pocket right now, either an iOS platform or an Android platform. Nobody is carrying around a camera and a music player, right? Same with enterprises, right? And that's really been one of the big shortfalls of our industry. I speak to a lot of end customers and they get very frustrated why they have to rip out an AV system that they just put in 3 years ago. It's because you're not on a singular platform. Once you get on a full stack AV platform, that is software oriented, that is cloud based, that is, I talked about the cognitive cloud, that platform gets more intelligent. That platform, there's more value that gets reintroduced, that gets delivered to that platform through software applications, software updates. That's how we can reach the magic. Okay? So that was the message on the full AV platform. And then in terms of, I think, just follow up on how do you guys, for me, I think if you're interested in personal advice, and I don't know where everyone is on their AI journey, but the first thing is to get off of zero. If you think this is not a big deal, I just don't know how wrong I can, without insulting anyone here, I just don't know how to say you're so wrong. Okay, I just don't, and I'll say it with a smile, and I'll be like, good luck, right? So it's to get off zero, and it's to learn, it's to play with a bunch of models. I always have like 3 GPTs on my desk because I put something in one, I don't like it, I just put it in the other, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant. Okay? So get off of zero. I think this is where the justism came in yesterday. Do not fall for the trap of justism. You will grossly underestimate what's gonna hit you. Find, if you're a part of an organization and you really want momentum in the organization, find champions in the organization and create a group, spread your voice, spread the knowledge, learn. My moment, sorry, I'm just going too long, but let's go my moment. My moment was like, GPT came out on November 30th, 2022. By the first week of December, it was already hitting a lot of the podcasts that I was listening to. By the second week, so the rest of December, I'm just learning as much as I can. I'm reading white papers, I'm watching videos, etc. By Christmas, I just sat down and I'm like, I just spent an hour with ChatGPT to learn. That hour was more effective than the 2 weeks that I had spent prior in terms of watching hours and hours and hours and hours of video and reading white papers. And that's when it hit me. Oh my gosh, the world has changed. Okay? So play with the technology. Don't be fearful. Don't be fearful. Play with the technology. Get off of zero. Find some champions. Find some enthusiastic people to share the enthusiasm with you.
We got time for 2 more questions. This gentleman was next, in the gray.
Hello. I guess my question is, there's a lot of misinformation about AI out there. So how do we combat misinformation and encourage AI use as a tool to help us?
Just so I understand, can you give me an example of misinformation?
AI is going to take my job.
AI is going to take your job.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. That may not be misinformation. If you stay on zero, right? If you stay on zero, that's probably a fact. Okay. And so, there's a saying, and I'm going to repeat it again. It's going to be embarrassing that I repeat it. I'm not even going to repeat it because it's been repeated so much. Okay. But if you think about your role and how you could be 10x more productive. And if you get 10x more productive, you are either going to be 10x more productive, or you're going to say, I'll just be 5x more productive and I'll just have a lot more free time. Either is good, and they're better than staying on zero. Then I think people should be less concerned about their jobs. You have to understand, you all have the power to become superheroes in your organization. And we all have different strengths and weaknesses. I talk to a lot of creators, and they fear, oh my gosh, there's all this AI, it generates beautiful images and videos and animation. This is what I've been doing for 20 years. I'm not gonna have work anymore. Then I talk to the other end of the spectrum on software developers. Oh my gosh, AI is going to develop all the software. So it doesn't matter where the spectrum is. Human beings have this very natural, fearful sort of orientation to them. If either of those example says, oh my gosh, this tool is going to enable me to do so much other things, then I think, listen, every organization is going to want their employees to be more productive. And not only are you more productive, I'm actually very convinced you will actually enjoy your work much better. On the software development side, I don't care what kind of software developer you are. There's plenty of code that you have to write that is just mind-numbing boring. AI should do that, right? And you should think about how do I move from a software developer to a software architect? Because I have now a tool to do a lot of my development. Right? How do I move from just being a creative person who creates images and videos to a creative director? That is going to be a very powerful movement. Right? So I actually believe that that's one of the most beautiful things, is that it allows all of us to become superheroes. And whatever your weakness is, use AI to augment it. So we don't have Achilles' heels anymore. I am horrible at writing. I don't like it. I suck at it. It never comes out the right way. My goodness, the AI for me that's for me. But if you're an amazing writer and you're horrible at Excel sheets, use it for your Excel sheets.
All right, one last question. You're it, right there.
Could you comment on Sora?
Sora? So Sora is a model from OpenAI. I'll give you the funny stuff. So it's not available yet. Okay, they introduced it, I don't know, it was like months ago. And if you track how OpenAI introduces their products, it's always to deflate what Google does. So they always do it like the day after or the day before a Google announcement. So Google Gemini Pro came out. It was like, well, wow. And then the next day they introduced Sora to the world, and then takes all the media away from it. So Sora is text to video, and it's the beautiful images that I was showing towards the end of my slide yesterday. Now, Kling just came out, and that's the text to video from China. So I think as soon as that came out, the folks at OpenAI will be like, I think we need to release Sora. So I think that will come out. It's an amazing text to video. If that could be helpful in your line of work, I would encourage you to do it. It's amazing, right? And that was part of the justism, right? We saw text to video just last year, and it was horrible. And again, justism, it's just a chat bot, it can't do video, but remember, any mode to any mode, and the pace of innovation, and 1 year later, we get things like Sora and Kling, which is like mind-boggling.
Right. Thank you so much for joining
I can
us.
keep going for 3 hours. I'll just say
Thank you all for coming. I think the food is gone, so if you have additional questions, we might stick around for a couple minutes.
yeah, I'm happy to stick around for another 10, 15 minutes. Oh, actually, I don't.